But all seriousness, so you guys, Joe Zahn was a guy, he popular TikTok DJ, wedding DJ out of Delaware, and we talked about him last week. He kind of got caught red-handed faking a video, and I talked to him outside the show, and he's actually on today as a guest. We're going to bring him on. I figure, I don't ever really talk about people on my show. Like, I'll talk shit on a product, but I don't really talk about people, and especially without, like, at least letting them come on and, tell their side of the story and all that good stuff. He actually messaged me right before my show started last week, and I missed it. It was like 15 minutes before. I would have had him on last week, that ass. So, but we're going to have him on, and we're going to see, his side of the story and kind of just talk about that briefly. And then, honestly, I'm going to go put myself to bed after this. So without further ado, make some noise for Joe Zahn. I got to get my headphones on here. Hold on one second. So sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah.
All right, let me check volume. Good. How you do? Oh, fuck. I have an intro for you. I completely forgot about it. Just give me 1 second.
Bro, the amount of time that you put into these fucking videos, I swear to God.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't have no time. I got a broken leg though in my defense, so I haven't had a lot to do. It sucks. I'm doing all right, man. It just sucks. Oh, it sucks not being a walk. No, I just slipped in the parking lot. Going to snowboard. Like, I was on our way to a shuttle and just slipped in the fucking parking lot. But yeah, look, I got this one too. But I like this one anyway. In all seriousness, so since I talked about everything, you posted the video. I first want to talk to you about like the video itself, your thoughts on it, how you actually made it, like, because we all kind of speculated what it was. But then before we even start, I will preface this you did post another video. You like redid it. And you said you added 50 Cent to it essentially, but that one you actually mixed, and so it just that proved right away that you're capable of doing it. So what happened? What were your thoughts behind the original mix? And what did you do in Ableton? Like, was it acapellas, instrumentals, like each side? Like what did you do specifically?
Yeah. So first I wanted to hop on and just say sorry to everybody that was offended by the video. This was never my intention to reach a large community of DJs. It's just strictly meant for the TikTok people that follow me, which are very, very few DJs, right? And that thought never really crossed my mind until now, as far as like being like authentic in your mixing, right? But again, this video was never put out to show my ability to mix in the most authentic way.
But you understand now that, like, as a DJ, when you put out a video, you are representing DJs and the culture, like, because you are a DJ. Whether or not, like, obviously you're targeting it towards a broader audience, which is a great ass idea to do. You know what I mean? I mean, look at me, I'm super niche, right? Like, to target a broad audience, you're targeting people that like music, like, you know what I mean? And I get that, but you are representing DJs because you are a DJ. Like, you understand that?
Oh yeah, no, I understand that 100%. But at the end of the day, it's the music that I'm putting out. It's not necessarily like if there was a giant disclaimer, hey, please judge me critically on my DJ abilities right here, right now. That's a different story. If I'm putting out a video and it's more for the sound on TikTok to go viral and less about the way that I'm mixing, like, you have to understand the way that I did that mix, guys, it's physically impossible to do that mix as a DJ live because of the way the songs come in and the way the songs come out. Snoop's coming in on the and on the 8, Eminem stop on the and on the 8. So you can't do it that way. So in order to get the sound out there to TikTok, I have to go and do it some way. And to be honest, guys, the gravity of the situation is you can't just hit play and stand in front of your computer and people are going to be super excited about the song. They're just going to scroll over your face. They're going to scroll over to the next picture or to the next video. So you have to have really catchy hooks on TikTok, like using third person, like this DJ does this because it convinces the audience, like, hey, This video was shared by somebody, because you're looking at the text in the video first. You're not looking at who's sharing the video. That's probably last, if at all. So there are these things that I do on TikTok to catch the viewer, and my cheesy ass smile, that like all that shit is well thought out ahead of time, so that I can go viral and get the eyes that I need to convince the algorithm that the video is doing well, right? That's the one side. The other side is I get the whole DJ thing, but this video is not meant for the DJs.
So with that being said, there's a lot of mixes that aren't like physically possible. They're done on let's say a 3-style all the time. And what they'll do though, they'll make edits just like you did. They'll go on Ableton, they'll make it all the same BPM, they'll make edits with cue points, but they'll scratch it in. They'll actually instead of what did you do? Explain what you did in that video. What did you do? What were the edits you made, and then how did you bring it in? Just to clear all that up.
Can you share my screen, Nick? You want to share my screen? Can you share my screen?
I cannot know on this, so no, I'm sorry, man.
Shit. All right. I was going to show you in Serato how I can break down the tracks.
I don't have ability.
Imagine. All right. So for the people who are not familiar with Ableton, Ableton is basically a program that a lot of producers use to, either make music, or in our case with DJs use to create the edits that a lot of us use in our mixes. Right. So what I did was I knew the artists that I wanted to use, and I knew the songs that I needed to use, and I had to figure it all how to get it inside of 60 seconds, because I needed it to be duettable, if that's a word, to be able to be shareable inside of TikTok. If you go a minute over 60 seconds, that feature is inactive. So you have to get everything inside of 60 seconds. And when this woman reached out to me about the Super Bowl mix, it was Tuesday or Wednesday of Super Bowl week. And she was like, you need to do a Super Bowl mix. And I didn't know what the fuck that meant. I just started playing Welcome to the Jungle and all the high energy stuff that you would hear at football games. And she made another video, and she was like, no, this is what I mean. I want you to do all of the hash up, or the halftime artists, and mash them up. And I was like, oh shit. So I spent the time in Ableton tracking it out and putting out all the tracks that are instrumental on one side and all the tracks that were a cappella on the other.
God.
And essentially, yeah. And so when the verses start, that's where the cue points start, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm basically keeping the time. So the video was not. I know that there's a lot of people saying the video is faked and everything, and that kind of hurts my feelings, because it wasn't faked, right? It wasn't like I opened Spotify and pressed the play button and then did a bunch of cue points. If I hit a wrong cue button, that would have definitely messed up the mix for sure. I was keeping in time, right?
But can I ask you a question? If you just got both tracks going, so you have acapella and instrumental track right on either side. If you got both of them, if you got them both going and they're in time, did you have to hit another cue point after that? After Eminem comes in, not really. I mean, you could do pitch adjustment. These things in Ableton theoretically are the same beat per minute, but because you're using turntables, they can still fall out of sync, right? And so you have to either nudge sometimes, or what I it's a little trick here is, if I'm a little bit here and there, we're talking micro adjustments. If you hit the cue points at the same time when you need to, then you don't really necessarily need to pitch shift, right, or pitch adjust. And so that was just a clever trick for me. But when I started the songs at the same time, that was me doing that. Everything is me doing this, right? And when I fade out Kendrick Lamar on that fourth bar, and I a baby scratch in Eminem, that's me, right? And everything else is pretty much just kind of micro adjustments, right? And I want you to know that that video, and I get the flack that I got on I understand, you know what I mean? When you don't understand how beat making works and how tracks work, and you're getting scrutinized by DJs left and right, people want to hop on a bandwagon and just fire, right? But then I redid the mix with 50 Cent, and I got so much more respect. But all I did was add spacing. That's the only thing that I did, guys. I mean, I scratched a little bit just to, show you guys, all right, I am a DJ and I can do this, right? But at the end of the day, I'm using the same cue points. It's the same fucking mix, guys. But don't you think, adding the scratching and doing it the way you did the second time is a little bit of a better representation of yourself, of your own talents, and the culture as a whole, Don't you think?
Yes, I do. I do agree about that. However, I agree with the fact that I got a fraction of the views. Nobody shared that video in terms of
Because it's a
using it for.
remake of the original, though. Like, you know
No,
what I
it's
mean? Like,
because
you're never gonna get it. You're never gonna get the second remake. Will never be a viral video ever.
well, so for example, right, when I shared that for the first time, it was like 2 million views on TikTok and whatever on SportsCenter, right? And I look at TikTok algorithm more than I do Instagram because I didn't really have an Instagram following before this whole thing, right?
Yep.
But I'm very tuned in with TikTok, you know, and actually I have to thank you because your video in 2019 is the whole reason why I got on TikTok.
Which is crazy because I even mentioned that the other day. I was like, yeah, I fucking made the video saying it was the future and I was into it and I just fucking didn't do it. Like, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, you know what I mean? Literally, like, I was like, why haven't I been getting on? But yeah, it's a whole nother fucking, I hate myself.
It's no, man, it's a grind. You know what I mean? And
of course, just like
we all love
I respect
your
the grind
videos that you put out, right? And you put out a lot of thought in that and stuff like that. And there's only so much time in a day. Like, you're a wedding DJ, right? So the content that you create with, you know, for the DJs by the DJ, right? And then you have to go and you have to basically put in your full-time job, which is your DJ stuff, right? So a lot of the videos that you guys see of me like faking like a mix or something like that, I get where you're coming from. Believe me, I do. But please understand where I'm coming from. I run a multi-op and we have 6 teams of DJs, and we went from 100 weddings in 2019 to fucking no weddings in 2020 because of the pandemic, which is the whole reason why I'm even having this phone call to begin with. Because if that shit didn't happen and I wasn't trying to save my family and my warehouse, then I would not have tried everything in my power to make the money that I need to in order to survive in this community. Because I only can do this, guys. You know, I'm not a fucking doctor. Your boy's not the smartest peanut in the bunch, but I had to do what I had to do, right? And so when we're doing weddings every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'm the head sales guy, I do, you know, marketing, advertising, I do social, I do it all, right? Everything's on my back. There's no time for TikToks, right? And I don't give a shit how hot, how big your boobs are, how great your content is. If you post one video a month, nobody's stopping by again. And so I started to see my followers decline, and I knew that I had to post videos again, but relevant videos. So I post a video to make the sound go viral, and I use my dumbass face to keep people there longer. I don't give a shit what I'm doing with my DJs. I know that you guys do, but I don't.
So your argument, just to clarify everything, so your argument is, well, number one, you know, out of not having enough time in general, it makes it easier to kind of do it on Ableton and then, like, you know, kind of taking that approach, and that's why you did it a couple times or however many times you did it, just because, as a time saver. And then you also argued earlier, you said that when you posted the second video, you didn't get nearly as many views. So are you saying that, like, because you did more DJ stuff, it's less attractive to an average person? So, like, you think like the scratches and all that makes it less attractive? Like, if you do it without cuts, really?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. And I'll tell you why. The fraction of people that appreciate an actual technical DJ is finite. Scratching is Nick, don't cut me off, man, but scratching is a thing of the past, man. These kids that are coming out today have no clue why scratching even exists. We know why scratching exists because you had to scratch the record because there were no buttons, right? But you have to understand that in order to understand this. But these kids, they have no preconceived notion of why that needs to happen, right? So they just care about the music and what's trending and what the sound is. Everything's happening lickety split with these kids. So it doesn't matter about that. I've tried, believe me, I've done it all the ways. And I can show you guys that I can do it all the ways. I can do the production route. I can do it live. I can do this. I'm just telling you what works for me and my following. Sometimes I put my pants on, you know, before my shirt, and sometimes I put my shirt on before my pants. But either way, guys, I'm dressed at the end of the day.
What did you do a lot of scratching videos and they weren't working out and then you switched, or like
so just like you know, when I was starting my TikTok, first of all, I would say to anybody that's getting a start on TikTok, if you're being consistent and you know that you're being consistent and you're putting out content that's engaging and you're not getting traction, start again. I started 3 times. I did, like, I love comedy like you love comedy. You know what I mean? Like, I try to invoke comedy in what I do, right? and I was doing like comedy shtick and DJing, and then I was also doing my mashups. But to the TikTok algorithm, it's like, pick a fucking lane, Joe. Like, what do you want to do, man? Because it didn't know who it wanted to pump out the content to. Right. Once I found out that the DJ tutorials and everything weren't really my niche for TikTok, because it's not really, like you said, like it's not really that saturated with DJs yet, which was why it was so, I wouldn't say easy by any means, but why it was possible for me to get the followers that I did. Right. Because it would be a lot harder if you had all of those Instagram people, which is the whole reason why I do advocate for having all of these DJs get on TikTok and develop the following, like Eric Rhodes, like DJ Maybach, and like myself and Joe Bunn, right? But you notice things about the content that you're putting out, and you follow, you go down the rabbit hole. You're like, okay, well, these people I'm not pleasing 20-year-olds, right? So I'm not going to play any music that's current. I'm starting to see that there's a lot of people that love me doing freestyle music. I fucking hate freestyle music. I became a freestyle DJ for like 3 months. That sucked. But like, you find these niches inside of niches, and then they work and then they don't. But the DJ side of things, it really didn't work for me. Now we're starting to open a DJ school at Wired Up Entertainment. And that's a whole other conversation.
Ironic. That's really ironic. Yeah. I mean, listen, man, I see your side of it, and it's cool to have you, come on and kind of like say the side of it. I mean, I'd argue that like, scratching in general, if it's done musically and tastefully the right way, I mean, you don't have to be a DJ to think like that sounds cool. I'd also argue that like the international symbol of DJs is wiki. And I'd also argue that if, I think it would be in your best interest, if I could give you advice, not that, who cares what I say, but like, I think it would be in your best interest to just recognize that as a DJ, you do represent DJs, you represent the culture. And if you can find a balance of making the same quality videos that are going viral that you're doing that right, you're killing it, but also, incorporate some type of live, like don't fake it too much. Don't leave it all just to one channel, or don't, you know what I mean? Try and be as real as you can to please everybody. I think that would be in your best interest, in my opinion, if I was you. Yeah. But you do you. No, I mean, you do what you like, man. I told you, I respect the hustle. I said in the video, I never not knocked you. Like, you know what I mean? It was just, like, that's all.
Did you though? And here's the thing, man. Like, I appreciate that by all means. I really do. I get that you have to do what you have to do in order to get this channel going.
No, I didn't need your video. Look, I didn't need your video to get my channel going.
I didn't cut you off. I hope you don't cut me off, please.
Well, it's my show. So,
hey, well, then fine. Then show all your viewers that you're going to tell one side. Go ahead.
No, I'm letting you talk. You've been talking. What are you talking about? You've been talking. Go ahead.
I think the disappointing part for me, Nick, is to watch how much effort you put into each and every one of your sitcoms. Right? It's a show, man. It is awesome. Right? You do your research. You really put in a lot of time. And the disappointing part for me was that you judged me in the DJ of the Year competition 2 years ago. You gave me a lot of praise, saying that I have skill. Right? And if you were to just scroll 3 videos down past my TikTok video that I faked, you would have seen that I put out a DJ video of me actually cutting or me doing a tutorial. But instead, you used your 107 followers right now that are watching to create an army against me and told that one side of the story instead of calling me, which you have a relationship. We've had numerous text conversations and being like, Joe, what's going on? A lot of people were talking shit, and I kind of want to get your side of the story. Text conversation. I mean, dude, our relationship has existed prior to you seeing my video.
We've talked before. Yeah. We've talked before. It's been 2 years. It's been since that thing.
That's the most disappointing. Right. But that's the most disappointing part for me, was that you knew who I was. You know that I'm not a DJ that just presses buttons. You know that I could do it if I needed to do it. But you didn't.
You still made the video, Joe, but you made the video.
But it doesn't matter, Nick. You didn't tell my side of the story. You basically said, here's a DJ that's faking it, and that's the only thing that you showed people. That's the only thing that you showed people. You didn't say, look,
you're on the show right now. I have no problem bringing you on. I mean, I addressed it on the show, and that's it. And I have no problem bringing you. That's why you're on the show right now. Like,
well, I appreciate you giving me my chance to say my piece, and that's why I'm here. But that was the thing that hurt the most, was I held you in such a high regard especially I was such an impressionable young DJ 2 years ago, listening to you and your podcast saying that this is the way to go. I listened to you. I took your advice. Now all these other DJs are ganging up on me because they have a preconceived notion of something that you said, which you know is not true.
What did I say that was not true?
That I don't be like Joe. Don't be a button pusher. Don't be the dude. You could go watch your whole entire video.
I said have Joe's hustle. That's exactly what I said. I said be like Joe with his hustle and putting out the videos that he's doing, but don't fake it like Joe. When you put out a video, add that DJ aspect in there. Do it for the culture. That's what I said. I said have Joe's hustle, but do not fake it like Joe when you put out videos. Exact words. Go back and watch it. I went back and watched it many, many times. I know what I said. I didn't say nothing wrong.
Can I ask you why you never advocated for my DJ skill to begin with?
I fucking forgot about it. To be honest with you, I forgot I even.
It was very fucking convenient, Nick.
I fucking forgot about it. To be honest with you, I remember talking to you because I remember you had these funny ass videos. When you dressed up like a girl or something. It was this funny ass skit. You sent it to me, and I was like, dude, you're funny as fuck. I was like, dude, you're funny as fuck. You should make more videos. I remember having that conversation with you. And then, I forgot about that whole DJ. I don't know, man. For some reason in 2020, I repressed so many fucking memories because it was such a fucked up time. Like, I'm judging that competition, which I thought, like, I wasn't even qualified to be a judge while, like, going through hell like we all were. Like, I don't know. I fucking forgot about that shit, to be honest with you. Like, I really did. I looked at it. I scrolled down a couple of other videos, and I found a couple other ones where you're kind of doing the same shit, and I'm just like, man, like, what the fuck? And then you proved it. You can do it. You know how you're a good mixer, man. You got clean cuts. Like fucking. That's what I'm saying. Just have the balance. That was my only point.
Yeah. I mean, and I've continued to have the balance. You know what I mean? And the one video that was scrutinized and ridiculed and brought across, and I get it. Like, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen when a video takes off like that one. And I wasn't prepared for it. I mean, I didn't know that your words could be used against you like that. Like, I got fucking emotional because I had fucking Rob Swift talking shit on me. I was like, dude,
that's not because of me though.
No, but well, first of all, it was, and Cleveland. Everybody together. Look,
that all happened when Cleveland did the story. That's another thing. I didn't break it. I watched your video. Another whole point of this is I watched your video. I was like, that was a good ass mix, and damn, that was a good ass idea. Wish I did that. And then I just kept it pushing. I didn't even notice you've cheated until Cleveland pointed it out to the world. That's who fucking. I saw Cleveland video. I was like, oh shit, he did cheat. What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? And then that's when it started all. And then Rob Swift was in his comments, like, right, so like that started all that. I was just an afterthought. I just reported it on the news. Essentially, this is DJ news.
All right. Now, I think that with great power comes great responsibility to everybody. You know what I mean? If you know that you have a significant following, and if you know that you have a bunch of DJs that are hanging on to every word, I think it's important to tell both sides of the story and not one-sided.
And that's why you're here, my friend.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. All right, well, that was Joe, people.